Ba-da-ba-da-bum, ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-da-bum, ba-ba-dum, ba-da-ba-da-bum. Hello one and all, this is Hybridsteel. Thank you very much for joining me in today's video. We're playing Dyson Sphere Project, and the reason why we're playing this game is because, well, everyone else is playing it. I'm a week late to the party because I had other things to do last week, so I had to finish up a load of stuff first. Now we're on to Dyson Sphere, and it's all good. Alright, so I've skipped past the intro, I've gone past the prologue, I don't need any of that stuff, and you still keep popping up. And before this guy finishes talking, it's going to be dark. Yeah, see? Planet rising. Okay, so this is Dyson Sphere Project. If you aren't aware of this game already, or if you haven't played it, if you're into this sort of game, where have you been? You're living under a rock. So the first thing I wanted to do, and it's taken me a little while to actually get here, is to find a planet. Shut up! As long as I don't get interrupted anymore, we'll be okay. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to find a planet to basically do a let's play with you guys, so you're watching and so on and so forth. Any suggestions you want to add down in the comment section below, it would be awesome to have you here. But basically what I wanted to do was I wanted to find something that would be easier to sort of like negotiate and get all my elements and bits and pieces all in one area and produce a decent sized base. And I think I found it. So what we have here is we have a copper node, which is good. We have an iron node almost next to it, so that's even better, so I can start joining up my technologies. We've got coal here, we've got some iron, we've got stone there. It's a bit hard to tell what's in the dark, let's put it that way. And we've got some bits and pieces just like randomly scattered. We've also got coal not too far away, and I'm looking for a black well. Black well. There it is. There, right there, crude oil. Now, the reason why we're looking for crude oil is because obviously we're going to need it later on. Now, I have been playing this game a little bit offline, so as to get used to the game. And I've got to be honest, it's one of those games that you will lose a lot of like life and time. It's very, very sort of, oh, I'll just do this, it'll be all right. And then like 3 hours later, it's not all right. All right, cool. So we're making these. This is what we need to do. So we need 10 of these. And we need iron. Thankfully, we're producing iron. So I'll only get 20 copper, and we're good there. And I want to walk over here, and we'll get 20 iron. And then we can start building a few bits and pieces here and there. Boom, boom! There we go. Rightio. So what we got to do is go over into our inventory, pick up this, click out, and then we can start automating iron development. Oh, there we go. That's a good haul, that one. So what we'll do for now is we'll build a windmill up here, and we'll chuck this right next to the iron. There we go. Oh. Okie dokie. So what we're doing now is we're just powering up because energy was getting a bit low, and in all fairness, that's the joys of this game. You have to keep yourself energized. And so I'm just basically mining through a load of coal at the moment because it's a raw element, and that's just the way this is. So I think we've got enough to get us through for a little bit. I'm just hoping we can actually start start doing stuff properly. Now let's just do this once more. Let's do another 20. Good. Right, cool. So we'll stick that in there. That's all good, and that's all good. Right, it's getting dark again, but what we have done now is we have brought together our we've done two of the we've got 2 miners going in for the iron, which is all good. And I've set up this little thing here, which is my plan is to basically just make it in rows and have all the elements coming out this side. And I'm going to do the same for the copper over here as well. So this same sort of setup, and then we're going to be flowing it towards the ocean. Now, by the time I get to the ocean, I should, and I say should, I should be able to build foundations, and that's where I want to do a lot of my production work. If not, I'm going to be taking it down over all of this piece of land over here. So I'm just going to do all the copper and iron up here, and then we'll start spreading it over there. So we'll see how things go. We'll just get into this. So I need, if I build it this side around, we'll be all right. So let's go for a miner, and let's just try and get it in as much as we can for a node. I think that will just about do it. That's all good. I love the fact it's saying, hey, you can go and build the matrix lab. Yep, I can build the matrix lab, but I haven't got anything that makes anything that goes in the matrix lab yet, have I? So we just need to build stuff. This is my own sort of way of doing stuff as well. I mean, you don't have to copy. This is just in my head when I was playing this game earlier. This was how I was doing stuff, and it was quite efficient, so I kept doing it. So one thing I'm definitely going to do is I'm going to automate conveyor belts because I just want it done for me so I don't have to, you know. I'm lazy. So with this one we are going to be making magnets. So what you can do is click on here, copy that recipe, click on this one and paste that recipe. That's all good. And then bring your conveyor belt, because we're going to have to be producing several of these at the same time. So I've only got 2 conveyor belts left. This is the problem with this game. Is it right at the beginning? It's like Satisfactory, where if you need something, everything has to be done manually. Right, get on with it. Come on, come on. There we go. Right, we're conveying now. So I'm going to stick this all the way across here, and then we're going to take these. Alrighty, Koki. There we go. And then we stick these ones on here. Everything's getting away. And there we go. Fully automated. Well, I say fully automated. So we're making magnets and we're making smelters. All good. Unfortunately, we have to do this all off of one line until we can actually start earning the other things. So what I will be doing with this is I have to do something very, very similar to this, but with both copper and iron. Okie dokie, jokey, kokey, mokey. Right, let's hook this up with some power. So we definitely need to build some more of these. And the idea now is, because we've brought our conveyor belts in from one side, we've got conveyor belts coming in from the left and to the right. You know, here I am stuck literally in the middle of both, which is all good. But we do have 3 conveyor belts, and the reason why we've got 3 is because right at the beginning, where we are now, is you have to take into consideration everything you're just about to put into your lines. You have to know where everything's going to go. You have to make sure it's not going to overlap or all the other crud that you have to deal with. And then, I mean, from there, it all just becomes a little bit more sort of easier to understand. But then I sort of had to sit there and just go, well, if that's not going to work and that's not going to work, then this might work on its own. So there was bits of that, and then I had to work out how to use something like one of the watery elements today, and that was a pain as well. So slowly but surely, I was getting used to the game. That's one thing that annoyed me a little bit about this, is that when you build your sorters or your arms, these things, they are sorter mark ones. So when you build them, you have to build them in the direction of where you want them to go, not just to hook them up and it'll sort of think about it and maybe do it for you. You do have to put that into. We've got our 3 main elements off of here, and this is all going to be made into like thing. And I think what I'm going to do, if I take into the planet, the way the planet lies, in all fairness, I want to sort of take out all of this and turn it into one big square. So I'm going to be waiting for that to happen so I can actually start building foundation as well. I know I've got to start researching into the lab as well, so that'll be the next thing that we're going to like mainly do. But for now, I mean, we've got all of this space up here, and I'm thinking that if we can produce enough from this lot and we can start building into a main area down here, then this bit up here is for grabs, and we can just use it as like a trash ground for now, and we should be alright. So that's done, and that's done. Now we need to start producing a lot more conveyor belts. So these are just iron sheet and cogs. Okay, so now we've automated conveyor belts. There we go. So basically what we'll do is we'll just fill that up, and I'll use those conveyor belts in later builds, and we'll just keep going. That's pretty much it. I think what we can do is we can sort of bring these down into their own little storage boxes here, and then we've sorted this lot out. So all this is like the basic stuff we need to build, and then from there we just like convey it out to other places. Okay, so now let's click these in. So the conveyor belts are going to go straight onto here. Cogs are going to go onto here. So this is like how bad my head is. It's like, that'll do. There we go. There we go. Right, so now we need to build another 4, which I should have done earlier, but I didn't. So there we go. Build 4 of those. And then what we do is we stick this in. There we go. Our first like actual production line. So yeah, there you go. That's what's going to happen. Okay, so there you go. That's our first like major line, and these will basically just stack up until they're full, and then the conveyor belts behind them stack up, and it's all good. So we've skipped forward just a little bit into our build of this, and basically what I've done is I've added in my little stone plant over here because, you know, at some point I'm going to need stone. I've also automated coal because at the moment coal is the best thing I've got to burn. I'm going to be blocking off all this bit up here and turning all this into stone factory and basically expanding all this out. At the moment this is just basic elements, so what I want to do is I want to start rowing them off and getting all the stuff off of these belts, even the ones up here. I'll show you now. We built the Matrix lab so we can build the blue squares so we can do our research. That's all good. These two are constantly just going to be feeding this until, well, they're going to run out soon because I haven't wired my iron back up. So what I did was I took the whole iron plant apart and redid it because I'm close to the water. I needed to get this smelting plant in as well because this is going to be feeding just steel girders. So steel girders were brand new. It was like, oh, you're going to need these. Ah, crud. So yeah, thankfully I was automating conveyor belts. So I haven't really wasted anything as well, which is a really, really good thing. First things first, what we need to do is we just need to hook up our sorters. So these are now going to be making steel I-beams. And this is because we can. It will just back itself up to a point that nothing will be made. So there we go, we've got 4 rows of stuff now. So we've got our I-beams, our magnets, and steel and copper. And these are all basically just producing this. The I-beam I haven't got any reason to have at the moment, but it's all good just having the spare rack there, just so when it does start going, we know what we're doing with it. Yeah, you know what, let's just start building. Let's work out a power plant here, because I don't want to get into too much of the way of like where I want to build my factory. In all fairness, is actually over this great big pond, which is going to suck. This is actually where I want to put my main base, because it's coming off of all these lines. So I'm going to need a lot of land to take this up. So the best place I could do is actually build my power station right here, because I've got that node of coal there. So we could actually turn this into a giant coal power station and be happy. Okie doke. Right, okay, so we did a little bit of building. We've done this. We have built our little power station, and this basically has 8 power stations all connected to my main frame, so I don't ever really have to worry about power too much when it comes to this. My next evolution really is to just go like full-blown solar power, but I'm going to be honest, with all the amount of coal I've got here and over on this side as well, I don't really have to worry about coal. I mean, even if this runs out, I've got another load. I think I might just stick to fossil fuels and just be a polluting little git. We wired it all up. We're now flowing power all the way through to our system. I did start building a foundation little factory. It's only a little one, just to keep things rolling. So when I can eventually sort of like fill in like the lake of damned here, because it's in my way. Yeah, this is, I'm now producing 2 of these off of these 2, and then it's going into my port cabin. By the time that's full, I should have enough, because each one of these blocks is like 1,000. But apart from that, we're doing all right. So what I've done is I've actually split off my iron bars from left to right. So I've got 2 producing this, 2 producing that, and that's all good. Iron's still working, and stone is working. It's a bum off, because now we're using it. It's now pulling in. I want to make a row of everything, and if I do this now, then I don't have to worry about it like much later. So what I will do is I'll actually just start shifting this down here now, and then I'll shift all of the elements down into this one area as well. So now we've got iron bar, we've got the T-bar going into this, that's this production line. Over here we've got the storage for these, this and this. I will shift all of this down to here as well, and this and this. So over time it will just start being a bit more of a storage area. Now, because I'm building foundation, which is so much better, that's actually what I need to do. 3 of these, right. So I will be putting these 1, 2, and 3. Oh no, that's too close. Right. Oh no, I'm going to have to move stuff. Ah, smake. Okay, well, I don't have to move too much. So conveyor belt moves to here, conveyor belt moves to there. Awesome. Right, okay. So the downside is at some point this is going to get in the way. There is a way of getting rid of all this. We will get into in a little bit later. Next we need smelters. Smelters. There we are, smelters. 1, 2, 3. Bish, bash, bosh. Yes. So next we're going to have to start making glass. Oh, the joys. Right, so glass, and glass. And we need power for that one as well. So this is more fun for the fan. Alright, next we need to take our conveyor belts, because we've still got loads. We're going to just rip it across here. Going to come up to here, and we're just going to go right across here. There's our glass production. Let's get this all wired up and get in something there. And there. And there we go. Glass is taken care of. Oh, did I do this wrong? No, I didn't. Aha! See? Done. Okay, so we've done glass, we've done stone, and so these are going to pop down here. They're all going to go into their own collection box at some point when I can be bothered to sort that out. Now, one of the hardest things that I found when actually doing this, because right at the beginning you don't get to land on a silica based planet, which sucks balls, okay? And it takes a really long time to produce silicon ore, because there isn't any silicon ore. So I'm going to have to build literally a factory on its own. Something that's going to have to produce that much stone to produce very small amounts of silicon ore. Alright, so that's the next plan. Next plan, turn this into a silicon ore manufacturing Awesomeness. Oh, good. So this is literally what I'm talking about. When these have finished catching up with themselves, they don't produce that quick. And as you can see, I mean, we're down to like normal production now, and it is really, really slow. So the idea is to try and boost this. And the reason why is just because it takes so long for them to make anything. You have to have a lot of these working. And I'm hoping that having maybe this many on the actual line will actually work. This was when I was playing this on my offline mode with just like how to learn the game and everything else. I found that I really sort of like going hell for leather on these didn't really work. You needed to find like a sweet medium per line, and then from there that's literally how you have to make them work. And it was a little bit nightmarish. This is I would say at the moment, if you were going to go into like the hardest thing to produce, this is one of the hardest things to produce. So yes, this one here will now produce these funny motor things, and they'll be put into this conveyor belt ready for like storage of however many that's going to be in there, and all of this is going to be running into here as well. That's all good, that's all good, and that's all good. So these are just going to keep making into that matrix factory and be good. All of this is all working, and I now have no fear of anything not ever working properly. Let's just go and check out my iron facility. I don't think it's running properly anymore because I've got too many going through. Okay. So I need to work out something here because it's not working right. What we can do is, because these aren't running that fast. Oh yes, there you go, a little bit of studio ingenuity. And we'll stick this going out onto that belt. And there we go, fantastic. Oh, that just works amazingly. That's brilliant, I like it. Ah, it's all good. Fandoozy, it's all goody. Alright, this is Dyson Sphere, and I'm going to be honest, I'm really enjoying this. This is much easier to understand than Satisfactory. Satisfactory for me, I think the reason why it was overwhelming is because your eye level with everything, and everything looks quite busy if you don't go up into high mode all the time. And I think having it above here where I can actually see everything working makes it easier on me, which is nice. I can deal with that. So yeah, we're good here at the moment. If you have any comments or anything else, let me know in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. This has been Dyson Sphere Project with Hybridsteel. Thank you very much for kicking by. I want to say a massive peace out, have fun, and enjoy everything you guys do. Bye-bye for now. And don't forget, if you want to just hit that like button, that would mean the most. Bye-bye!